Hey everybody, welcome to the stream on this wonderful Sunday afternoon, at least for me. Maybe it's the morning for you, or whoever's watching, maybe the VOD on YouTube, which will come out after that stream in a bit. Hey, welcome, thanks for joining. And let me quickly configure my stuff right here to make sure we have nice transitions. And here we go, perfect. So today I thought, why not using that time to have a wonderful little stream and building a nice and new Nuxt application, plus trying out some nice new technology. So we're starting very, very simple. We have a Nuxt application, plain and old. We have, let's clear that, wonderful. We have this here, plain old simple application, Nuxt welcome. And we have a few things to do for that actually. So I thought about what exactly we want to try to achieve, what exactly should be built. And yeah, it is pretty much simple. We want to build a little association manager that I should build until I think next week, couple days after. And the setup will be pretty simple. So let's maybe draft the document and see what I actually want to do. So the idea is for authentication, we stay very simple for the MVP. We do a bit of basic auth. I released a package called the H3 basic auth for that. We can use that in a bit. Then the idea is we want to have some very simple CRUD around members. So like name, join date, leave date, and so on, so on. All of them should have some kind of member status. So they have like different groups you can configure. So like, I don't know, honor member, and so on, so on. Hey GooCodes, welcome to the stream. So some kind of member status, yeah, member status / roles, let's say that. And the most important part is at some point we also want to add some kind of finances around it. So there should be, a fee or like payment for each member role. And we want to have some kind of a SEPA XML export for monthly, half a year, or yearly, something like that. So this is more or less the setup of what we're trying to achieve. Of course, we want to build a little UI for that, and that's basically set up. We'll go a bit more into details. At some point, we also want to do like import all data. But it's more like a one-time job, though. It will also be nice to have a like CSV import to update member roles, to say like, okay, I don't know, first name, last name, DOB if necessary, if duplicates, and new role to make sure, okay, the role will be updated. Hello, welcome to the stream. Yes, so that's the idea. We will not leave the Nuxt Cosmos for that. The idea is to get it all achieved with the server folders, a little bit of Nitro here and there, of course, with Nuxt itself. And because I really suck at like designing and so on, I thought, hey, why not trying out Nuxt UI? So we can go to /Nuxt UI, also have a command for that, and I hope it works. So the idea is, oh, no, it's not there. That's fine. Then we do Nuxt UI maybe. Also not. Okay, then I'll pass that in manually in a second. We use Nuxt UI, Nuxt UI Pro to be specific. And the idea would be that, we showcase what is possible. And I will configure the command in a bit. That's fine. Let's try this and go UI again. Yeah, now it works. Wonderful. So we use that. There's also a coupon code if you don't have Nuxt UI Pro yet and you want to buy it. If you're like, hey, that's cool, because they give lots of predefined components. And as I said, I haven't used it yet. I want to try it out. And same with Nuxt Hub, actually. So Nuxt Hub also a really, really cool idea of saying, okay, let's rely on Cloudflare, build a little platform on that with the KV store, the database. So with Cloudflare D1 here, also the blob storage of R2 and so on, so on. So yes, I'm going to use the Hub admin as well. Maybe, yeah, we can. I heard there is access for that. If I just have to log in here. Let me maybe real quick do that because I should have. Let me unlock my 1Password here. I should have access to that too. Yes. Authenticator app to FA. Okay. Yeah, so we can use that as well. Let's see if we will or not, but definitely showcasing the power of that. Yeah, exactly. It's alpha access for the hub admin. And I'm curious how things will be. And let's see how much we can do. Plan to stream on a couple of hours. So yeah, let's see what's possible. And thank you so much for a follow. Much appreciated. Switching back to the code, yeah, there are a few things that probably have to be addressed here at some point. Also, like having proper user authentication and so on. But for the MVP, I think that should be enough. The data here, from technical point of view, we say member data saved in D1 on Cloudflare. Same for the finance data. Let's say the payments. Let's say payment data. It's better. I think the trickiest part with the payment data is to make sure that the payments are, well, they're immutable. So for the payments, we actually have to save payment data with users plus roles back then. Because let's say, I don't know, you have a payment of someone registered, and next year or next month or tomorrow you change the user role, that should not update the data from the payment back then. So that needs to be immutable payment data in the DB. Okay, and then of course detection, like, okay, who has paid what and so on. There might be lots of edge cases we won't cover straight away, but it's fine. And there could also be, for like the future, let's say future conditions to update member roles. Think of yeah, after a year, like trial year, or a certain age. Let's say you're a minor in the database and you like you turn, I don't know, 18, 21, whatever the age for a non-minor is, and then you will update it automatically, or same when you like old enough, and so on. So that's roughly the plan. As I said, we'll build from scratch. I prepared exactly nothing for that, so it will be completely raw, and let's see where we'll go. Also, yeah, the design is the last part to consider. Luckily, Nuxt.UI Pro will give us, or Nuxt.UI in general will give us a few things. I know that for sure. And then we will see how things work. And of course, if you have any ideas, like, oh, here, I spot a problem mistake, please always let me know. I'm watching the chat closely over there, but still. Yeah, so that's the idea. We can start a bit more of the tech data, of course. That's all saved in Cloudflare. Just wonder if there's anything else to consider. For now, I think not that much. So, okay, let's get started. Let's maybe save this here in some kind of idea.txt, or let's make it markdown straight away because it is markdown that we wrote. And we can delete this. And yeah, okay. So the thing is running. We don't have much installed right now, right? So let's get started with this. Let's install a few things. And the first thing we want to install is Nuxt.UI, to be precise, Nuxt.UI Pro. We can just install it with pnpmi. So let's give it a try. While this is happening, we will also add that. That's also fine. A license is already provided. And then we can try out things. Let's see. Okay, it's installed. Let's update. We of course still want to have the dev tools. So let's take that. Extends the Nuxt.UI Pro layer. It's very nice. And we'll save this here. There will probably a restart. Or let's just restart it ourselves. That's fine. Close this one and see. Fetch resolve dependency with free smooth D&D. Okay, we'll handle that in a sec. Let's see where things going, and we can just copy a very, very simple example. Like we can just straight away go to the theming. We have a look as well. We don't need that much theming right now. We use the default theme because, as I said, the design is a bit. It doesn't matter that much right now. Structure-wise, yes, okay. We have the Nuxt config. We have the modules here. We have something extending the layer. We use the icons. We have color mode as well installed. It's really nice. And the app config for the UI states and different designs. And if we need tailwind config, that also makes sense. Okay. I think, yeah, the basic. Let's just go through that and copy this one just to see if things work accordingly. So let's go to our app.vue, paste it in here. That looks promising. Let's see how this will look like. And, oh, yep, that works. Wonderful. This is a great start. Okay. Then let's almost take it from here. Let's build our own header component first. So let's say components app header, app/header.vue is also possible. And take this part, we'll build a little view component. Yeah, view component, and put in the header here. The links we won't take as props because we can simply use them from here. And of course, we'll also adapt them. And that should be fine. Yes, the logo we have to still put in. We don't have a logo right now, so maybe it's just say association manager. And of course, the code will also be open source in the end. So whenever you might miss part of the video, I will also commit always at the end of each video. And maybe also in between, but definitely at the end. So don't worry about that. Let's add another view component here. Don't know why sometimes my VS Code doesn't work. For the index page, save this. I'll make the font a little bit bigger and this smaller because we don't need the terminal that much. Ooh, thank you so much for the raid, Hulkakoda. Much appreciated. Huikakoda, sorry. Much appreciated. Hey, everybody, we just started. It almost couldn't be better timing for that. We just started building off a new Nuxt application. Lovely. Huikakuda. Ooh. No, indeed. No mean hyenas here. That's true. Yeah, we just started off building a new Nuxt application with Nuxt UI, Nuxt Pro. Thank you so much for the raid, for the follow. Let's get started. Well, very simple association manager, and we just very simple started copying the header over. Let's use the app header here and bring it on. I am more than sure. I hope you had a great stream. I hope you all had a good time. Well, give it a try. Give it a try. It's worth it. Okay, link-wise, let's keep just one here for now, and say label. Well, home. Very basic. Do we have I? No, we don't. Let's use Heroicons. Home. Very simple. To / for here. Quick stomach found level 4 hyenas from DMS. Pokemon from Twitch chat. Wow, that's sick. That's sick. How did it go? Okay. Very unfortunate. Didn't have balls. I see. Okay. Wow. That sounds fun though. To be fair. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Amazing. And what's the plan now? What will you do now after successful stream? We in the meantime will reload that. We'll see index page. That has to be lined a bit. We have that here. Might make some food. That's a great idea. Yeah, that sounds like an amazing plan. Also looking forward to that in a bit. But first continue with the stream. Sauna and Gritty Makar, I think. Oh, good option. Good option. Can't complain about that. Yeah. I mean, especially with the weather here, it's like, I don't know, 9 degrees. I wouldn't mind a bit warmer. So enjoy that. All right. Simple header, the logo, color mode. I don't think we need dark mode or light mode right now. That's fine. We can keep it on, but it's more like a gimmick for now. And then the header is that. All right. Then same for the app footer. We can use the footer provided, and we will update that at some point. But for now, we're good. So let's say app footer. We don't have that component yet, but we'll create that real quick. But if you have any questions around Nuxt and around anything, then please just drop them in. I'm very happy to answer all of these as usual. So yes, copyright. We'll just take 2024 to now. Well, let's see. And MIT, of course, that's fine. Because the code will also be open source, as mentioned. And here, we'll probably just link to the repository, which doesn't exist yet, but it will be. And maybe even to streams at some point. All right. Let's see how things go. Okay, that is a bit unfortunate. Okay, we have some problems because app footer doesn't want to do what we want to do yet. That's left, that's right. We have the footer include here. Thank you for the follow, much appreciated. And we should be fine. I wonder why it is giving a mismatch because it's called app footer. Oh yeah. Strange. Okay, let's see. Let's check. Even Nuxt dev is not loading because of the hydration error, and it's app footer. Yeah, restart dev server. I thought about the same. Having an association manager sounds pure evil. Did Nuxt make you do it that way? Yeah, no, lucky not. I'm not managing like a. The idea is I'm building like an application, so let's say small associations can manage their members, and like we start with a very basic MVP. Want to do it open source, and then see where it's going. Maybe people will use it. I know at least one association will use it, so that seemed promising. If that will happen at some point. Okay, now we got a bit better. We see no error on the console anymore, which is great. We have the dev tools over here, but somehow it's still not loading. So gone slow. Well, I've been doing that for my social law. Yeah, that's the thing. Like usually more and more people do that for their small associations because most of the tools are a bit meh, let's say, or too complex out there. It's tricky. So yes, you sound like reside in the EU. Does the place have any restriction on how to handle privacy? Yeah. Indeed, I live in Amsterdam, and of course, we have GDPR, which is which should be enough with regards to privacy. I think enough to say. Okay, this shows up, and then it. Here we go, just below the fold. Okay, lovely. So of course we'll consider that. There will be like a big license, privacy policy, and so on. But it's not for me to handle. I am only providing the software. People using that, of course, I will list the technology used. But of course, if you use that for your association, either hook it up to some local database or say, okay, we use, I don't know, Cloudflare. What we'll use? We will use this database that we host it there and there. But yeah, that's one thing for sure. All right. On the next page, I don't think we'll do that much for now. We have, let's say we have a members page. So members, then we have also an index here. Let's just draft these out for a bit. The view component, we need a member itself by an ID. I mean, it would be nice to have like first name, last name, something like that, and then ID. Does the default app come with full GDPR compliance reviewed by 30 set of lawyers? So what's Nuxt's approach to come with full GDPR compliance reviewed by no. Yeah, exactly. The thing is not Nuxt itself. So if you take the framework, let me quickly show you. If you just take the framework itself, there is nothing GDPR wise to worry about it. Mainly because it's about where you deploy it. You don't send out data that you don't describe. So that's all good. It's more like if you use services or if you do something like Nuxt Hub, that's based on Cloudflare, right? So then you need like a DPA, data processing agreement with Cloudflare, according to my knowledge, but I'm not a lawyer. So luckily, yes, as WUF 2001 says, it's It's a vulnerable project. Just kidding, of course. Yeah. That's fine. Well, what framework are you using? I'm wondering then. I'm curious. I have an idea, but yeah. Okay, in the meantime here, let's get the ID at some point, or let's get the route first. Is use routes. We don't need to import that. We have auto imports in Nuxt, and then say const ID is routed params.id. I'll start the extension host real quick in the meantime. Alrighty. Cannot reconnect. Please reload the window. Fun. It might blank out. Okay, wonderful. Getting there. Put in the ID here, and we'll see that. Nikki2K1, thanks a lot for the follow. Much appreciated. Okay, we have the members. At some point we need some, I don't know, finance page, payments. Maybe payments is the best payments page. We also need an index.vue here at some point, and we need to have the also an ID per payment to say like, okay, we have due payment. This consists of these and these members and so on. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're building a wonderful association manager as the title is still not reflecting. Let me quickly update the title. Building an association manager with Nuxt.js. Okay, weird. I was still the old GitHub title. I'm sorry for that. Has been updated. Wonderful. No false promises here. Okay. Here we might have to do a few things, but not that much. We might have to fetch users later on and so on. We'll get to that. So let's go back to the idea page. What we have, we can save this one, and this one we don't need, and this one we don't need either. Okay, off will last. Let's push this a bit down. This shouldn't be too tricky, but it will be annoying while developing, I think. And also because there's a package for that, should be fine. I love bleeding edge, but the kind that has been proven, battle tested, and just I see. Yep, that makes sense. I almost had it on my mind. Yep, I thought more of something else first, but that's a good guess. Yep, good one. Okay. So we start with very simple things. With the crowd around members is the best thing. Because that's simple as what we know, and then we can also integrate Nuxt Hub real quick. So first thing we might need is components. Let's say, let's do member form.vue. Very simple one. Might move that somewhere else at some point, and let's see what Nuxt UI Pro might give us for that. So if there is something integrated for that or not, because we have like landing pages which we will need at some point, of course. We have the main one that we're using for the whole screen. We have fields and field groups, and this sounds a bit more like what we want to hear. Pharo is more like modern small talk. Pharo, the immersive programming experience. I see. That looks like modern small talk, if you say so. Interesting. Pure object-oriented programming language and powerful environment. Yeah, but when it comes to OP, I mean, OP in small talk is better than OP in Java, in my opinion. But yeah, OP is still a different kind of jam. Nevertheless, that looks fun. Okay, we have a field group. You can group fields in there. That sounds like a plan. We should do that. We also have an auth form here, and there's a CEST template as well that we can have a look at, which might make sense. So let's check. This is the auth form. Okay, got it. We can continue with GitHub. We can log that in. But there's probably more to that. Bleeding edge ideas from the 90s. Yeah, it can still be bleeding edge. I mean, deep learning was in the 70s and 80s too. And then they figured out, oh, it's not enough machine power yet. And then, oh, wait. Okay, interesting. Then we have Nuxt content with the docs and the blog. All right, that makes sense. Okay. I think if we have other forms available. We have form and form group. That might be more interesting. That's Nuxt UI itself. So luckily we don't have to do much about that. Here Yup is used. We can use it as well. We can also use Volleybot or Zod. which I think I would prefer more. Valuebot is pretty nice. Zod is also cool. Most people know that. Yeah, let's take that over for now and see how things go. So let's do pnpmi dzod because we need Zod anyway for validations. And let's copy in the member form. Okay, we need form submit event from UI. That's fine. We have Zod here. It's also good. Should probably start a server again. So we have some auto-completed types. And that's okay. All right. Let's quickly reload the window once again and build that form. Because, okay, what do we have? We have first name. It's a string. Yeah, non-empty would be nice. Otherwise, we don't do any assumptions. I think non-empty is not a thing anymore. It's min 1, I think. Right? Yeah. Last name, same idea. Let me quickly check if there's anything else, because I had version 1 of that build years and years and years ago. And yeah, believe me, it was crappy. It was still back in PHP times. Hello, I'm new here. Yeah, welcome to the stream. I knew Unreal Engine, some Unity, some C++, because Unity C++ are the same. I'm looking to widen my knowledge over the summer with some Java and maybe Python. Unfortunately, with regards to Java and Python, I can't help you much, but there are really cool things done in Python with regards to machine learning, but also like backend frameworks. I mean, Java, if you want to dabble more into that, then Spring might be a good option. But here we do a lot of JavaScript and a lot of web programming. So if you're interested in that, then I can give you the following recommendation. You can check out, for example, vue.js.org as a JavaScript framework. But I think before you do that, you can go to javascript.info, which is a very loving starter tutorial, like handbook, even more, for JavaScript. So yeah, if you're interested in that, that's maybe worth to go. Otherwise, yeah, if you have any specific questions, as HitterUS also said, then drop them in and we'll all try and answer them. Thoughts on Next.js? I've worked with Next.js recently when I was building my thesis, where I compared Nuxt and Angular in terms of SSR performance, and yeah, it was before all the benchmark hypes. And honestly, it's like I liked it way more personally to build things with Next is a bit closer to Nuxt than Angular is to Nuxt, let's say. But I also think like they do lots of interesting things. I personally don't use it because I'm not the biggest React fan. That's also why I initially chose Vue over React and then came to Nuxt. But it's definitely a solid meta framework to build on. I'm very happy though with the, let's say, with the freedom of choice with regards to deployment, which doesn't mean that Next can't be deployed anywhere. It's more like with Nuxt and Nitro, I know, okay, I can switch over platforms rather easy because the server engine, which you can also use standalone, has all these different providers here on the left side. Let's say, just works, and it's like serverless, that's edge, that's just on your own, very simple Node VPS and all that. And there I know, okay, if sometime, I don't know, platform shuts down or costs are too high, we have to migrate. Or hey, let's try out Cloudflare Workers, then things will just work. And that's something I really value, the freedom of choice with, let's say, less friction. But also there, to be fair, it's a bit biased. So just to highlight that and mention that, because some people might not be aware of. Most of you probably, and it's fine. I'm also on the Nuxt team, so please take that all with a grain of salt, what I'm saying here. And if I have some opinions, then, well, I'm working on a framework, so that might also be a reason why. Okay, let's get back to the form we wanted to build with Zod, and I wanted to still get the old setup and see what data we had there. I'll quickly log on. And yeah, I know you won't see that right now, mainly because it's old and shabby, and I can't leak the info, unfortunately. So okay, we have first name, last name. Then we need a member, or like membership ID, something like that. It's also string for now. Then we can add sex if we want to, but let's do that later. I'm not sure if necessary. Yeah, then company might be optional, and we do this. That should be optional. We have then the whole address thingy. So where do we start with? C.object. Yes, okay, street, city, state. I don't need state necessarily. We can add it, but let's make it optional because especially in the EU, state is not that interesting. Zip is helpful. Yep, thanks a lot for the comment. That's a good point with like trolling, not trolling. But if it's meaningful conversation, I'm very happy into that. But I agree. All right. Sorry, let's switch back to the code in the window here. Zips also a bit. We can use that. Maybe let's group that closer like this. Street, city, zip. Do we need country? Might not be a bad idea. Come on, country. There we go. We might not need it. We might provide a list. Say to-do list. But we also make it optional because if there's a certain country that's dominant, we might not to put it in all the time. Or we have a default or something like that. We'll see. Join date. Z dot. I can use date. Might be optional because the person might not join it. It's just added as like a draft thingy. Same with leave date. Same idea. Also optional. And that should not belong to the address anymore. So let's move that here. Let's put this here's to do. I will see. This actually might be good for some evaluations stats. Oops. Evaluations stats for associations. So like, okay, how many members of a certain gender we have, let's say. So that could be really nice. And yeah. Okay. Then join and leave date we have birthday or birth date. Yeah, why not? It's also optional. Phone number or just phone is also optional. Email would also be really nice, I think. But we'll keep these all optional. And then we might have to do some things like something like division if we have certain divisions, but let's do that later on. And if there are, yeah, roles and so on. So that would be nice. But let's see. I'm also checking right now. It makes sense. And then we need some payment data, which would be the bank account and all. We also might want to add some notes actually, because why not, right? Why not adding some notes so the people using that can say, oh yeah, we have this and this noted for that member. To do sex, yeah. No note added, no note needed, I think. Yep. All right. We have this. Then, okay, what do we need for the payment data? We need optionally methods, date, amount, nodes, not really. It's more like bank data actually, but because it will only be possible for bank real classic for this case. Maybe you can adapt it later on. So bank name, account number, but bank name should be account holder. And then we don't need number, just IBAN big here. And we can make these optional for now, but would be nice to have that at some point. Because, I'm just wondering, what if someone pays in cash or another way? There would be a nice way to say like, okay, these are excluded at some point. Does the schema auto create migrations for DB? It does not right now, I think. No, but I mean, for example, this schema can generate types automatically. So you can do like, as we have here, type schema, c.output, type of schema. And then we have the TypeScript type for that. It would be pretty nice to have that generating DB schemas. I think there might be like sort generate DB schema. I'm pretty sure somebody did it already. There's no support for in mock service worker right now, but I'm pretty sure people thought about that, and someone might do that. Here, create Zod schemas for your Edge DB. So yeah, Drizzle schema and do both migration. Yeah, that's also an idea actually. Yeah, that's true. IBAN key points, 34 alphanumerics, country code, and 2 check digits. Yes, yes. With the IBAN, I think there is a IBAN validator package anyway, which I might use. And I probably used before. Because there are, depending on the country, there are some interesting limitations. Yes, sorry, it's light mode. I know. And let's just peek into that for a second. If it's really just this, if it's really just like, okay, 34 alphanumerics and then 2 check digits would be too easy. But I would like that actually. But oh yeah, exactly. They calculate a few more things here. So let's see where this brings us at some point. BBAN to BBAN. Country specific. Okay, makes sense. All right. Yeah, I will just rely on IBAN.js, I think. Let me add it to the technical document so we never forget that. Tech validate IBAN via this package. If there's a more than one, I'm also happy to take that. Yeah, Drizzle schema into both migration sort schema is one thing. Jumping back to database is something to consider. And probably you can even integrate with Nuxt Hub, which we wanted to use. I didn't try it though, but there is a Drizzle ARM recipe. So it might be worth trying that and checking it out. But this is one of the few fields validation pays back sooner or later. Yeah, IBAN for sure. I did it in version 1 as well. Like it's necessary to validate that. It would also be nice to make sure that the big field, if we go back here, like this field here, should not be mandatory if the country of the address is not right. No, but this would also be nice to validate /infer somehow. And then here use IBAN.js. Wonderful. Coming back to the problem of cash paying, I think it makes sense to have some kind of options here to say like, okay, either we provide that payment method. So let's say that would be, let's say payment method bank. Or we would have a payment that says cash, which just doesn't need anything. Oh, IBAN Tools provides both. Okay, let me have a look. Thanks for checking that real quick. Bring it to the main browser. Also quite a number of downloads, that's nice. Then BBAN, yes. Last published a month ago is also not too bad. MIT, that's also great. License check is also nice. Does it have ESM support? Be tree shakeable? I mean, it wouldn't be the biggest issue, but it would be nice. Because it seems at least it will. I mean, it has type module. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Convinced. Thanks for the suggestion. And yeah, let's go for that. Move it over here. IBAN Tools and replace it. Great idea. Thanks. Okay, I want to validate that. And we want to do, we have an option for being cash payer. So how do we do this then? We want, in theory, also like future IBAN is only EU? No, yeah, it should be. That's correct. I mean, it says international, I think, but yeah, I haven't seen this used outside of EU. But also the thing is, if somebody wants to add more options, then I think people like that would be nice to do. So maybe we can say, okay, let's say const I don't know, SEPA. This is better, I think. Then we have IBAN big and optional the account holder. So let's take this. Then we just have as another option is const cash. I mean, this you don't need to do much for being a cash pair. Okay, somehow you need to do it, or like otherwise, let's say it's always like a nice escape hatch. We don't need anything for that, so that can be just like a plain or like empty object. And then we could even more like, I don't know, stripe, whatever. To do in the future if someone needs it. Or if someone needs other payment providers. But of course, these are a bit more complex to implement because here it's like, okay, we have that SEPA payment, and eventually we want to set up a payment saying, okay, here, these are the cash payers who have to give it to you in cash. And here we have a document. That will be really fun to generate, actually. Here we have a document pulling all these out. So there's like SEPA, XML, probably also an NPM package to do that. To say like, okay, just given all the data, and we generate that. It also validates the IBAN, interestingly, but it should also give, yeah, this. And that will be fun to implement. Mainly because XML, yay, but also it's not the most straightforward. Though it looks fine if you don't have to write it all by hand, which, I don't know, 20-year-old me did. Initially developed in the EU, but used quite a lot through, of course, not throughout the world yet. Yeah, I mean, international bank account number, and that's what I was thinking too. But US is fully blank. Let's quickly pull it up here. That's fun. Yeah, yes, like Brazil has structure and register. That's cool. I didn't know that. Very interesting. Yeah, the rest here should work. At least some parts. I mean, worst case, of course, you can set up buy, say like, okay, hey, they should do that. It's more like a manual process. With SEPA, you can at least withdraw the money straight away. That would be nice. Okay. Then we just need const payment types. Is what we have. We have SEPA. Let's just do this. SEPA cash as const, and then let's create a type out of this for later. We probably moved it somewhere anyway. And later on we have to move that over here. That's okay. We don't need this. Then we probably need that in here when certain things are set. Let's do payment type, or well, we can still make it optional here, but if you provide it, then this should exist. This should be validated. That should be fine. Next step, global idea payments, wishful thinking. Oh, true. Yeah. I would love to have just one way where you can just send money in seconds. It works everywhere. Yeah, in the Netherlands, exactly. There's Ideal. Ideal. Let's do Netherlands because that might be easier. So you can just pay through your own bank, and that only works with, of course, banks in the Netherlands. So it works pretty nicely, but it's a local thing. Then we have in Germany, we have there's Sofortüberweisung, it's called. So the idea is from Klarna to say, okay, yep, you can just pay directly, let's say. It's required to become EU-wide, really? Oh, I didn't notice that. That's cool. Let me quickly make a note on my phone because this is a really good news and something I want to share later on. Ideal EU-wide. That's nice. Thanks for the info. I didn't know that. Sweet. And yeah, there are a few services. Of course, there's also PayPal, but yeah, well, really cool. Maybe one day we'll still can dream. As you said, wishful thinking. The illusion will be based on ideal technology and code. It's a literal implementation. But I mean, still, if it's interoperable, I'm all good with that. So okay, we have the checksum, we have to validate. We have to validate creditor ID. That's cool. Let's take this. We need this as well later on for the payments anyway. So create direct debit XML through CPAP package. This will be fun. Also, it'll be fun to test because, well, it should work, but then there's also there's different software that uses it once again. So let's see where this will go. Okay. So far, so good. We can provide the bank data. I don't think there's anything else. Then we would have to have some kind of payment type to say, let's just say that z.union and say payment types map. Or can we just, we can't put just this in, right? It needs a literal, yeah. But this also won't work, huh? Yeah, I thought so. Then let's do it manual for now. And we can probably infer that later on. Let's maybe do this. Because if we have this one, then this payment types type should be we do this as const. Okay. No, that won't work. Interesting. Okay. I see the enum for payment type. Okay, that's also an idea. Yeah, true. I want to use native enum first, but that's right. Let's try this instead. z.enum. Payment types. Easy. Thanks for the suggestion. Perfect. I noticed that the podcast episodes are very quiet. Has someone pointed it out yet? No one. Where do you listen? That would be good to know. Let me. Okay, maybe we can. You know what? We can just do a live check in the stream right now. Let's pull it up. Deja vu.fm. This will be a project that I'll work on next because the website is still not just mediocre. Just still the website needs some work on. Spotify. Oh, plus 60. Okay, interesting. Can I do that? Maybe. I mean, it should all be the same. They're all mixed the same. But we can just play it real quick on YouTube. I'll play it on full volume, so I hope this should be. Let's do the last one. I hope. Yeah, now you can tell me if it's the same issue with loudness or not. Yeah, I mean, if I put it on on my, I have a fader down here. That's why it's if I put it on normal volume, that's a. It's indeed a little bit quiet. I also note that down. Doesn't hurt. In the meantime, this might be a good chance to plug that. Yeah, there's a podcast about Vue, Deja Vu, with Michael Thiessen, who actually became a father a couple of days ago, so he might not be there for 1 or 2 episodes. But yes, feel free to have a listen if you don't follow it yet. But no, nobody said it yet, so that's good. Episodes louder. I'll pass that on. Thank you. And hey, Israel, thanks for the follow. Nice that you're here. Okay. We are still building our wonderful association manager, and we came not too far so far. We defined some schemas to use, and we want to, want to make things happen. So let's do it. Here, maybe we have a chance of defining reactive with a type, and maybe we could say not the output, but maybe it would be nice. just to do maybe zero infer type of schema, something like that, because then at least we get a little bit of a hint. Let's try, because email should be an optional string. Let's see. Maybe let's try that. Let's copy a few things over here. So let's get these all in. Yeah, not that one, but it's fine. Let's not take this. And you know what? We'll do it differently. We'll just copy the object over and then use everything with undefined. So, okay, payment type is undefined for now. Bank data is just an empty object. Or also could also be undefined for now, actually. Then we have, the rest should all be as well. Let's take these, set them all to undefined. We can remove this for now. That was one too many. It's fine. And these are undefined. That's just an object and should exist. And yeah, now it starts saying that first name is not undefined is not assignable to string, even though we said it's optional. Maybe do we need to use output? I haven't used sort in a while, but still not. Okay, you know what? Let's update that in a sec. We also need some commas here. Okay. We set them all to undefined. We can also set them all to a string first if we want to. Actually, it's also fine. Then we can even keep it, I think. All right, street, city, zip, state, country. That fails because we need that gone. Join date. Here it's a bit trickier because here we can just like put in a non-existing date. Can we just say null for undefined? No, we can't. Because now it says data undefined, okay. So that would be fine then. Very interesting. These are okay. All right, payment type I think was necessary. Let's set it to by default to SEPA. Just why not? Okay. So we have that. We need to do something with the data at some point, and now we have to create the form groups and the forms and all that. So we'll start simple. What do we have? Let's just take these information over here and say, okay. So we have address, that will be one form group. And let's say address, name address. And then we have a few inputs. So yeah, street, city, zip, state, country. So there we go. That looks fine. We might also want to give them labels and a name that never hurts. So label should be this, and name actually the same for now. Maybe say here street, city, zip, state, country. We still have to make them optional at some point. Oh, is there something with optional? State would be optional. Let's put that in here for now. Let's see how this is going on the page. Actually, let's use this on just on the index page to show. And let's say member form. All right. Okay, we have a member form. It's okay. We don't have any placeholders and information what that is, but we'll get to that. Because, okay, here, email password. That's a wrap form group around the inputs itself. Do we have any more? examples. Let's check, let's check form group here. Because yeah, we have the placeholder in here. That's also an option. That's also very nice. Let's match these also as required to make sure it is. Then we'll wrap it around the form group all the time. We have a hint which we can use. That's also pretty cool. Lovely. Arrows and so on. Okay, yeah, then let's do that step by step. Can we have a form group around a form group? We'll see that in a bit. Then let's take all these. Probably, yeah, that should be fine. U form group comes in here. We'll do the optional in a bit. This will go, this will go. And something like that. I think this was one too many, but it's fine. Okay. We have this. We can here say this is hint optional. That's really nice. Let's keep that in parents here. And most of these are required. So this is required. The only thing that's not required is this one. Let's see how this will look like. That's a bit better. Don't worry about the formatting here. We still have to like put some things in between, but it's that's a bit nicer. We can put in placeholders. I think also, for example, for a country, you can have a default value at some point. Maybe let's add it here to do set default value. And I think that might also be an optional entry. We'll have a look. All right. Then we would have that. The thing is, ideally, we also want to use the form when it's ready to, let's say, to make sure, that didn't work, that we can use it for editing and for creating. That would be always nice, because otherwise we have to like duplicate the form. That's always a bit of a pain. So yeah, we really should do that at some point. Yes, no validation library included. Let's wrap this around form as well with a schema that we can pass in exactly for validation. And the on submit. That might already be there. See, yeah, that's here. Okay, wonderful. Then it would still be nice to have a way to address this, like mark this as address subgroup, but that's not that important now. Thank you for the follow. Okay, these are marked as necessary. That's perfect. This is optional. That's great. If you put submit, it says invalid email. And once again, thanks for the follow. Great. Glad to see new names in here. That's awesome. Okay, this email should also be required, but it's optional actually. But it's later on. Hint optional. And let's stick to the list of it. So we need first name, last name. So let's also get that same structure. It's not an address anymore, so first name here, first name. It's also required, obviously. And we have the last name. After the membership ID, same idea. We can use this to maybe do, yeah, something like that. It's okay. Membership ID. At some point, it would also be really nice to have ITN for that, actually. Pretty cool feature, the built-in validation, but the package side of ZOD is not small. That's true. We can circumvent that, let's say, by using Valibot, which is also supported, right? So Also Valibot, big shout out to, oh, it's just opening Valibot here. Let me quickly open Valibot here. Big shout out to Fabian Hiller, who is maintaining Valibot for a long time. I use Volleyball. Okay, perfect. Because that's the easiest when you don't really want a big size for that. So that's worth checking out. Also started for a reason. We can do custom validation too. That's right. But commonly, if you like don't only have like, I don't know, a login form, let's say, you might want to rely on one of the packages because you mostly use 80% of the code at some point anyway. With Volleybot, it's really nice because you can destructure it. So you can say like, okay, and you can treat this tree shakeable as well. So you don't have to include everything that Zod gives you and get like, I don't know, like a mid 2-digit kilobytes. But here, like, okay, just give me email length, object, type, and you're good. And yeah, of course, for all these, you can also add custom validation saying, okay, it should be validated through, let's say, a package or your own function, which we will also do. In this case here, I'll just rely on Zod mainly because it's convenient and the size is not that important in that case. But luckily, as soon as things work, we can also switch things out. I'm also considering actually adding tests at some point, which would be nice. Okay. Membership ID is there. Company. This is not required. So let's add that. Then we have, I think, the birth date. Well, join date and leave date are more important. But I probably would move them down. Let's also do that here. Because I think from an idea perspective, it would be maybe before nodes, something like that. I thought like more like, okay, we have personal info, let's say. The membership ID is not really personal info, but it's still close to that. And maybe auto generate that. Let's see if we want that. Hello, sorry for bothering you. Okay, yes, goodbye. Not sorry. All right, and birthday is also part of that phone email. Then we have the join leave date. We could probably also move the membership ID down there. Then we have all the membership related data down here, then nodes, and then the bank data. I think it's also fine. I'm just wondering how it would be the easiest way. I've seen the message in 4 separate streams now. Yeah, it happened to me also multiple times. Well, bots. I hope Twitch will get rid of them sooner than later. All right, and yeah, we have that address subgroup would be really nice. We put that a bit further down. We also need email, and we might need a phone. And then we have the membership ID. Then we have the join date. And that will be, I think, really interesting. Let's just rewrite it real quick. As well as the leave date. Leave date, here we go. Because it would be really nice to have a lovely date picker for that. Because, of course, these are not strings. So the date picker I really enjoyed, obviously, is the one from FormKit. In here, there is a date picker from Nuxt.UI using vCalendar and popover, so that's pretty nice. Plus, okay, for formatting dates, date functions, that's an own component here. Yeah, I see. We might integrate it at a later point. Let's get things running first. To do add date picker, please. Let's check if we have any advantage in here with Nuxt.UI Pro. Probably we don't know, and that's fine. Okay, we have some tabs that will be fancy to use. All right. Then we will definitely go for date picker in the future because nobody likes to enter dates like this. Though we can also say, I don't know, type date. Not sure if that would be reflected though. Let's have a look. Yeah, that also works. But the format is a bit unreliable, let's say. Though, yeah, except expected date receive string. That's a good point. We'll come to that. I think also if we define the join date in the schema, we should probably say we have to convert date strings to date objects because we of course can't pass that. So that would be something nice to do as well here. Okay. At email, we can continue with this. And phone, we also have, let's line it up properly. Join date, leave date, birth date. Oh, that's all name join. It is of course not good. Leave date and birth date here. Just going along with what we said. Or I can also say, I don't know, date of birth if you want to. And yeah, I know forms are long and boring, but it's a major part, I know. The optional ones should also be aligning, so let's check this real quick. Let's take hint optional and make it also optional here. Okay. Perfect. That looks better. Okay. So of course we can submit it and things will fail and that's fine. Email is optional, phone is optional. It shouldn't throw invalid email when it's optional. Let's see. You have to chain it differently. Do you have to chain it that way? No. That's a bit interesting. Like, okay. Probably because optional should really mean null or like undefined. And if there is something, it's considered an email that exists, which kind of makes sense. But undefined was throwing something, no? No. Oh, because it's optional. It makes sense. Okay. Let's go for that then. Birth date would be better over there. Yeah. All right. Let's move this over then. Date of birth. Before address, I guess. Here. Okay, if we submit now, it says string must contain at least one. That's fine. Test this. Then it would work already. Is that correct? I don't think so. Yeah, exactly. This and this must contain something. And then it should still not work yet. Because the address is not filled. Okay. Also, we should put the join date not on required. Same for the leave date. With the birth date, I'm not entirely sure if it's optional here. Let's put it also optional here to make that clear. It would be nice though if somehow it could be inferred based on the schema, which fields are optional, not optional. But yeah, can't do much about it here. Okay. We're getting there. So that's the form. Let me quickly check with the old form if there's something else that is missing. We need a type, of course. This will be fun. We need the role as well. I think we noted down somewhere. Divisions, roles, etc. I think the role is the most important. So for the payment type and maybe let's say payment role, because it's not necessarily related to the role. It's not necessarily related to the role in the association. So it's just like, okay, you're paying the full amount no matter if you're if you're the head of it or not, you still pay the same. So I think that could be nice. Then, yeah, we have to validate that, and that might be a bit trickier because they should be dynamic, right? So let's just say for now, let's just do an enum here and do full and free just for testing sake. We can get better at that. And we also want to have these over there. Oh, we probably also want to add that. No, we don't even need it then. Okay. Yes, fine. Then we say const payment roles. And we also need to do here read from database, which we'll do with Nuxt Hub to add them. That means also we need a way to say, okay, hey, that's the role. How often should you? That will be all fun. How often should you be there to pay? So let's say here we have roles, or let's say payment roles, and they need a name plus ID. It's fine. We can just use that. We need the amount, and we need how often, and that's as option. Yeah, monthly, quarterly, half year, yearly, right? And that influences how often we have to how often the CPA thing should be generated. I think more than that doesn't make sense. Like monthly, quarterly, half year, yearly, or maybe none at all if no amount set. So of course, if you're free, then you don't have to generate anything. Okay. From here, let's get to that. We have the form. We have this. We need a payment role. I would just set it to full for now as well. Of course, there should be an ID at some point, but we don't need to make it more complicated for now. This will come at some point. Okay, then we have payment role. And we need a payment type. Role first, then type, because the type is independent of the role necessarily. And also via payment. Well, we can just ignore it for now, because if there is, let's say, if there is a free role attached, if the amount is 0, we don't need a payment type. But it would still be nice to set it in case the role will be changed. So it will all be nice to always have a payment type, even if it's like just cash. And then we say vf state.payment role is state.payment type. If this is CEPA, then we need more of these. Saying account holder, and then it's state dot, it's bank data, but it might be CEPA data. That's a bit more descriptive. Account holder. Yeah, that's optional. That might not be. It's not entirely accurate to say this is optional. Because this should be only optional if payment type is not CEPA. Otherwise, it's not optional. So we have to change it in the schema, because otherwise it's not fully correct, right? So that would be one thing. So we could say, okay, let's quickly check Zod actually. I mean, we have the union option, but if we need a discriminated union would be nice as well. And then we have to merge a few things. Maybe let's put it into payment in general, because we have payment type and payment role, and I don't like the prefixes here that much. That always indicates that might should go into an own object. So let's just say payment is a discriminated union. And that's payment. Oh, the discriminator should be marked. Oh yeah, okay. Then the discriminator should be marked is payment type indeed. And that would be that, and cache is empty, and it's fine. But that's not exactly how it is meant here, right? So that would be just another object with, yes, okay. Then we'll do this. We'll say there's another object, and here we have data in here. And payment type or type is fine. And it should be an array. Hello, hello. Hey, welcome to the stream. Glad you made it. And we have this, so one object. And then we need another one. Saying type is cache, and data can be just an empty. Well, it still has to be zero object, I think. But otherwise can be empty. Yeah, different values definitely exist for that. That works. Let's hey yo, hey Goozy Dev. Literal, of course. Oh god, I always forget that. The literal. Here we go. Okay. That's a bit nicer. It still would be nice to define that somewhere here. So to have like, have that somewhere defined, that would be great. But we can do this for now. It's nothing. No, we can't actually. Yeah, because no z literal. Ah, true. Okay, we'll see. That's fine. This is closing here. Oh, this is that. This is here. Then this is the whole schema. Okay, so something like that should be working. And there is no bank data. There's a payment. And then we do. You mind me asking why you use zero output instead of zero infer? Yep. Actually, because there is. Give me a sec. Because that's the example in. That was the example in the Nuxt.js form here. With z dot. Oops, with zod, of course. With zero output. I think the difference in this case is marginal because we don't have any transforms. But as we will transform things, I think it might make sense because if we check out the docs here and say we do z.output, where do you have docs on that? Here. So if we'd have a transform, which we will definitely get a transform at some point because we have to put in date strings and have to get dates out, right? So let's say, okay, we have a string not to number, but string to date. Then the input would give us the string. And the transformed way of it would be the date, or in this case, the number. So that would be the difference. But, oh, actually it's oh, fun. Infer and output is actually IDS. Never mind then. We can even change it to c.infer. No, I like output because it's a bit more explicit. Yeah. Right now the transform should, well, the transform should happen when validating, right? When you say like, okay, you call the validation function at schema. So let's say we have the schema and you say schema dot parse, for example. Then in here it will be transformed and checked. So if we say we have a date, I think we might even change it to input here because we actually want the input for the reactive. I think. Let me think about it for a second. Do we want to have the strings representation, or do we have a more complicated version of it? Because, for example, for dates would be like in here it would say, I don't know, join date string, which would be join date date, and here would be join date string if we have here not the date but the string optional. When I say the transform, I would say value new date value. Well, we have string or undefined, I suppose. Come on. A new date undefined is not an option, so we say undefined. No, not undefined and this, I think. Something like that. What course won't do for transform date? Good question. Let's check it out actually. I remember I had scenarios where this was not the case, but the coerce is a good point. I think that might be a bit easier. It's either .coerce.date. Yeah. Let's give it a try. C dot we do date optionals. We'll keep that. And let's do the to do is gone. Let's take the Z, of course. Oops. And let's just try that. What do we take? 2024-0101, something like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. This is, we have to do a drop down at some point. Just to cache for now. And fill out a few things. That's also needed. So let's just do a few more. We still don't get the result of it, so I have to look into that. Slot can do so much, that's true. The problem is, what if it's an invalid date? We have to somehow fix that too, which, sorry for double switching. The pipe topic is important. Because if we want to coerce that, yeah, like that example is a bit tricky. So let's say that was what I remembered. Do save parse with date here. Let's say we have a coerce and we move it to a date, then we can parse that without a problem. But if we can pass a null, it's also succeeding because it will give us a date. It's just type of invalid date. So it would be nice to, yeah, use something like that. It's a bit, I think it's a bit more, it's less ergonomic, but it makes lots of sense in terms of how things work. And even then you can have like a string that might not do as it should. So yeah, let's keep that up. The to-do pipe to avoid. That's okay. This is just one form and it already feels quite complex, but I was still thinking of how to deal with these things. Well, let's see. Let's do default cache then. Oh, Manjoy, hey, thanks. Thanks for the follow. What do we define for cache and data as an object? And that should be okay, but it's not. It's not assignable because payment type is missing. Oh, we don't need payment type anymore. That can be removed. Wonderful. State.payment type it is then. That's the way to go. And then we also know definitely that state.payment.data exists, and we have an account holder. It might be optional, and so on, so on. So this is a pretty okay schema. It gives us the right type safety that we need. Let's do account holder here too. This is of course the IBAN, and we do the same with the big. I think big should also be optional. Let's see. Because this is required. No, this is also optional. This is the only thing that's required, I think. Big, we should make it optional. Or infer. Because at least in Germany, Netherlands, you don't use, in general, when you use CPA, you don't use the big for transactions in the same country. I sometimes feel that for validation, it's best to use native things on input. Yes, I definitely agree. The problem is that if you think of the user's experience and you say, okay, here is, let's say, here's an IBAN, it starts already there with like you can't express that because it has some logic with just plain validation. And if they're like depending things, so you need one value depending on what two other values are. It also starts like you need some kind of custom logic. And if you have a simple login form, we don't have to start with like ZOD and crazy validation. Then we can keep it very simple. Yeah, numbers and dates are pain. Yeah, I agree. That's true. But we have to go through this, especially with these big forms. I also remember in version 1, it's a bit of a pain. If it's a string, it's no big deal. That's right. Exactly. Okay. I'm also at that moment wondering when I was checking the version 1 as well. I can show you a screenshot maybe later on. The payment roles, it might not be good to attach to them how often someone pays. I think that should be extra payment schedule, let's say. Because otherwise, I mean, everybody having one role would always pay the same again and again, which is not really what we want. We would say like, okay, these are all the full members and they all pay the same amount, but they all pay, maybe someone pays every quarter, maybe someone pays every month. Then like a fraction of that, of course. So it would be better to have the payment schedule extra, which means yet another thing. So we have the role, and let's do payment schedule. And we don't really need these come from database, luckily, because the schedule is always, it's monthly, it's quarterly, it's yearly. That's all would be supported for now. Quarterly. And we probably also, there are always something to do here. We already want to have some IDs for them. Not only names. Maybe even just like months 1, month 3, months 12 or something like that. That might be easier to calculate. So maybe add month. So let's say something like ID. I mean, it's just simple like that, right? Name, and then interval, yeah, or like month interval is, for example, 1. And then we have another one. Maybe let's just do it straight away while we think about it. We have the same saying quarterly. Nope. So that would be quarterly. Wonderful. That would be every 3 months, and then we have yearly every 12 months. And now we can say payment schedule IDs. Oh, we save this as const for sure. And then we say payment. We didn't even name it yet, so I'll say payment schedule options. We probably need to extract it at some point anyway, but right now we'll draft that. So let's do is payment schedule options .map, of course. And then this should be fine. And we have const payment. Oh, you know, we might not even need to do that. We can do it in a bit. Oh no, we need the IDs actually. Yeah. So let's say payment. Payment role. Payment type. It would be nice to put the role in there actually, but payment schedule. This is also just the enum. That's a problem because it is variable, right? Yeah. I mean, if you'd write monthly, quarterly, yearly as const, would that work down here? That would. I had a feeling. Let's see. Sync with above. Okay. We have this. We just do male, female, other, and I'll prefer not to say is one option as well. Let's just put that on for this, and then we can say z.enum, and we're good. So we can add that as well for stats if people want to say that. The thing is, you somehow get the data, right? So if someone registers, fills out the form and so on, that somehow has to match with them. Okay. Roles, we have the schedule. Yeah, payment role and payment schedule would be, I think the basic could be monthly, or the base, let's do base yearly, it's fine. And we can add the gender as prefer not to say. We also maybe want to assign once again like non-space strings, but that's for later. Okay. We still need to subgroup. Let's add a few things. Let's say we add the gender here. Oops. Let's put it as required in actually, because it's not required to fill it in. The default is just prefer not to say and we're good. So, and it should be the default there already, right? This is the enum, and here it says prefer not to say. Wonderful. Then we're good here. All right. The join data leaves it. Payment role. Well, it would be nice to have the select here. Let's check the Nuxt UI option on that. They of course have a select in the select menu. So let's use the use select for that. Use select state.payment role. And options are payment roles. And same for payment type. Yeah, it's a bit trickier because we have payment types, but they are right now, and I think they're not synced. Let's see. Okay. Jump back to that gigantic form. But it's nice. SEPA shows us a controller Ivan big. Cache removes that. As it should. Nothing too crazy about it. This we should also have a drop down, I think. .gender. Because otherwise that doesn't make much sense either. Okay. That works. Nice. Ooh. Okay. Lots of things happening. We really need to structure the form later on because it would be very lovely to have a better let's say better view on the different structures. But what we could do is we could have tabs to use tabs. But with tabs, it's on mobile, it's a bit of a pain. I don't think that many people use it on mobile, but that's not the point. It should also work on mobile. The other thing is form validation. Like if something fails in a form that's not in the tab right now, meh, that's a bigger issue. I'm just checking the v1 of that, and yeah, it was also a bit of a pain, but it's fine. Okay, for nodes, we should use text area though. So do we have nodes already? Oh no, we don't. Then let's maybe put it all the way at the end. Saying your form group. Oh, we need to schedule as well, right? We don't have that yet. Good idea. Thank you, Copilot. So helpful. The type here, the schedule is also perfect there. And then we have the text area. Is there a thing? I don't think there's a uText area. Maybe there is. Let's check. There is. Lovely. Wonderful. Okay. And that's not required. That's required though. We would love to have that. Payment type, these should also be required. I mean, they are more or less because, well, there's a default value selected, but it would be nice to have them. Okay. They don't have values. That's not good. Why not? Because it's payment schedule options is the, yeah. Let's just use the IDs for now and revisit it later with the correct matching. I mean, we could just use the options and rename the two key value. It's not a big deal. But these are small things. Okay. Even like this is fine. Wonderful. We have one big form here with a big state too. So that's always fun. Yeah, icons we will need later on too. Just going through DevTools here and there. They're lovely. And yeah, as I said, like we need to somehow nicely separate these different parts. Let's see what else Nuxt.js might have to offer. Breadcrumbs we definitely need a bit. Context menu, it's for, yeah, okay, for this. The command palette will be very useful to just say like, okay, let's navigate around the page, like create a palette, say create a new member. Let's see how many people use that, but it could be lovely. The divider is definitely something we will use now to separate these parts. So let's do, oh yeah, date picker please is true. Okay, let's do payment. Here, I don't think we need to write anything for the nodes here. It's just separate. How does that look like? Of course, needs a bit more spacing. Right now, it's just a simple spacing around it, but Let's do maybe my8 or something like that. That didn't help. Oh, interesting. Okay, we have this, we have that. The address we also wanted to maybe divide, but not divider might not be the best. For that, we'll see. Address. At least it's a bit more clear, but it's not ideal. This is also very lovely to have that option. Yeah, probably want to do that. We want to remove the space y4 here and group these things separately. So this is the personal part, let's say. Then we have an address in there. Interesting, the divider has none of that. Oh, they're also solid dotted ones. Yeah, we need probably a big divider. How does LG look like? Big, of course. I mean, here, like payment, that's actually pretty fine. Especially if the others are a bit tighter together. I don't think it's that bad. Let's put these together then. Let's group these. So we have that. And we just do the same as before. We just give it a class space y4. I think that's fine. Same here. Phone and email. Maybe we can put the phone and email up here. And that's like really the personal information group. We have the address group. Then we have the member things in here with all that. Then we have payment. That seems like a logical structure. We don't need to name everything, I think. But most of that seems reasonable then. And then we have notes, and then we're good. Let's check. Of course, the spacing left and right needs a bit of something. Address still doesn't have... we can leave the size, I think. Give it my8. Okay. This looks a bit less cluttered, I think. Notes on the submit button also needs something else. 8, 4, nah, it is fine. Okay. And now, of course, the form is still too wide. That's out of doubt. What else can we do? The logo, that's nice. There are quite some options I like. All right, let's have a quick look on this one. This is the Nuxt.js process template. And this looks pretty sweet. They have a PY, yeah, they have a few PY classes here, which I will quickly just grab, see how they will look like on the, well, let's just do it in the main in general. So for top, we don't need that much padding on top actually. I don't think that's that much necessary. And well, that's solid. Then we have a bit of PX left and right. Yeah. And then filling the gaps. Okay, let's see. And the max width 7XL. looks way less cluttered now. I think that's pretty good. We still maybe want to just like do maybe gap y8 or something, not to, yeah, that's a bit better. Or maybe let's do 16 for now. Okay. Nice. The last dash for nodes should probably also just be that. It should say, even though it's a bit redundant, nodes. I think it was not name, I think it was title, right? Label, not title. Ah. Yeah. If the address. Oh, we have the membership details are missing. We need a bit of info there. Let's do membership here. Because then it's more clear even that's separate. Yep, wonderful. Okay, we built our giant form. Let's test some things out. Hello, hello. I prefer not to say it's the last one. That's a bit odd. Let's move that on top. Because that should be the default option. So it would be very nice to have that on top. Wonderful. Yep. Don't have to fill this, don't have to fill this. Oh wait, DOB is birthday optional? Yeah. Then it should also be, oh, it is not, but it doesn't say. We should definitely keep that nicely synced. Even join leave data optional, but it's kind of obvious, but it still would be good to note that down. This is optional. And nodes we should do as undefined as well. Okay. Let's fill out a few things. Optional. Test. 1, 2, 3. The street is also like we need street and house number, something like that. And here we go again. Test. We don't need this. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4. We skip these. We have these. Okay. Let's see what the console will say. Yay. The form is filled and it works. Lovely. Okay. First step. I will just commit this. We save all these things and put it on. For now. That's not the end. That's a good start. Because now we have the form. It can be pre-filled already, which is pretty cool. Well, it can't yet, but it could. So we need to provide that as well. We need to have an option for the form to be pre-filled. And then, if that's the case, it should be deep merged with the state. So if we have some info from an existing member that should be filled, that's something we will probably not tackle now, but it's important because the member form itself should be used to edit and also to read. And edit and also to create a new user. So let's say we add another create, which should be the same as our index page right now. We can just copy it over. Actually, I will probably just steal this and slap it straight away on the app.vue. Because why not? So let's do members create. Open that and should more or less look the same. It does. Add a new member. We need breadcrumbs at some time. We need lots of things while we'll get there. And what I want to do next is, okay, this is also not style, it's fine. Do we have some typography set up? Or like a heading or similar? Let's check. If the header. Typography. 12 next content, so on, yeah. Okay. Page body. All right, we'll see. New page header. How about that? Oops, not. I don't want to print it. Okay, that's fine for now. We could just give it a text for Excel. We're good. Maybe also need some spacing at some point, but yeah, the design how to focus. Here we say, okay, we don't have any initial state, and otherwise we're gonna say add submit or like add, yeah, add submit do something. If we check the form, it should also have that submit event, but that submit event, I think, let's have a look. Let's just have a simple test, because I think it should be custom event, so it won't be propagated. If it isn't a custom event, then things will just work here, saying on submit and just log it. But as it's a form submit event, it will probably not work out of the box. Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, what we here do is we'll just emit the submit again. So define emits, because we want that data to be set however we want. So I think the notation, I always forget the notation for that. Let's quickly look that up on here. Define emits TypeScript. Because who can remember all of this by heart, right? There was a new one, I know that. Yeah, runtime option space TypeScript here. But this is the new one. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay. So we're close enough. So submit, and then we have data schema. Well, it technically doesn't say data schema, but there's a form submit event, which gives the submit event, which is it a plain? Oh, okay. Fine. Emit, submit, and then event dot data. After validation, so these are the transformed data. This is the transformed data already, which is useful. Okay. This shouldn't be async, it's fine. And on submit should be used here. And then we have that. We have the data, which is basically, might have to export that. And import that. We want to move it somewhere else anyway. Components, member form, the view. Then we log data. Well, it should exist straight here. So let's see, that should be there. Volar. No, it's not Volar anymore. It's TypeScript restart.js server. And the type is exported here before the state is set. We can also, in theory, set it before. It's fine. Let's just run a type check real quick. I probably need TSC for that. Let's see. Yeah. That's okay. No problems. Okay, so it is once again the ID that's hallucinating. That's fine. We're getting there. What is our service saying? All good. Perfect. Then I'll leave that open for in a bit. Hey, welcome schema. There you are. Okay, and in here, of course, you want to say because this is the validated data. This is already what's correct. You want to say log it and then create a new user and go, redirect to members page. Exactly. We also want to do some deduplication at some point, right? Like we want to check, oh, is the email already set and so on, so on. But that's also for another. Let's go into Nuxt Hub here. Let's dive into Nuxt Hub and see how we can use things. So also here, once again, didn't set up anything. It's nice that it works with Drizzle. I might have a look into that in a bit. Then we can convert also things around, but that's for another time, I think. So let's install that. Of course, we can just use the Nuxt Hub starter. It's also fair, but we add it to Nuxt projects. We use the rather new npx nuxi at latest module add hub command. Let's put it in here. And while it's loading, we also need Wrangler for Cloudflare deployment, of course. Then we have the data in the git ignore. We add it to the modules, and then we're fine. All right. Yes. No, we need the Wrangler, and we need at Nuxt Hub core here. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, then we take whatever is there already. Perfect. All right. Deploying, well, we won't come to that right now, but still, we have the remote storage. That's really lovely. We have to deploy it at some point. It's true. We have the database. We can set the database to true, and we should do that for sure. I'm really tempted actually to think about using it with Drizzle because it will save us quite some pain. Also, as it was suggested. Do you work on Nuxt Hub or the admin? No, I don't. UserQuinn, thanks for the follow and nice to see you here. I don't work on either. These are Nuxt Labs projects. So as we see here, and so they are created by Nuxt Labs, which is one of the it's the company that Sebastian created together back then with Alex, with his brother, to also, for example, fund some people on Nuxt team, but make sure that open source is sustainable and to offer services around Nuxt itself, like Nuxt Studio, like Volta, for example, as well, and so on and so on. And yeah, I'm not part of the company. I am working with them every now and then with consultancy, but other than that, I'm not involved. But good question. Yep. So Nuxt UI Pro as well, by the way. So sorry for not mentioning that. But of course, Nuxt Hub is open source. I won't stop if I see something that should be contributed, I will contribute that, right? Or like, I don't know, report a bug or something like that. So nothing will keep me from this. Okay. Now the biggest issue is, okay, how we start. Let's add a Nitro API endpoint, because hey, that Maribojok. Hey, how's it going? Learn Vue in the house. Let's add a server API endpoint here. Say API users create, and also create a Nitro event handler. It's a bit easier. And here we ideally want to reuse the schema. Yeah. What is your preferred way to do authentication in Nuxt without using auth providers like Kinder? Recently be using Lucia auth. Like to hear yours. Yeah, I don't play around that much with authentication, but yeah, Lucia is a really nice option. Because this is my streaming profile, so I have them all in light mode. I have them all in my history in the other one. So I think that's a very, very legit and good option. I also think that Nuxt auth utils from SAP are a really excellent way putting in here. Yeah, also Wolf 2001 says that this is enough to build any kind of OAuth flow with all these things already integrated, right? So with like having option to easily deal with session handling, and then we have these set OAuth providers we can use. So I think that would be a good way. I've also used Sidebase before, so Sidebase and Nuxt auth. Also still use that in some projects. And that's also a nice way of using it. It's based on Next auth, and I hope soon auth.js. Still have, I guess, the issue for that up to convert that. So that's definitely also a good option. And it's really funny because lots of people are asking about the whole like, oh yeah, when does the next when does the Nuxt auth package come out, or like when does the next official Nuxt auth package comes out? Because for vue.js there was one. And yeah, as we also like multiple times mentioned, the idea is we want to first give you the primitives, make it really easy to build your own auth flow, because there are so many ways of doing auth with various requirements that we all don't know. In Nuxt 2, I think the Nuxt auth module was really trying to facilitate every kind of auth use case, and in the end it got really convoluted and complex because they're like making one silver bullet is really difficult. So I think that's one of the main reasons why this won't happen like this again. I also wrote a bit about that in my Sentry recipe article about the burden of a general solution, targeting exactly that, also referencing Julian's word about that, where it is also about, okay, hey, how can we build things that facilitate everyone? And the problem is it's not really possible that easily. Instead, it's better to say, hey, look, why don't you just take that code that works, and from there on, it's your implementation. You can change it around. You don't have to fork the package. You don't have to go all deep into internals. For Sentry, I give like an example here real quick. Because in this case, it's way easier to say, look, you have these 3 files you have to put in, and then things work. You can customize it on your own. You can disable, enable options. You can put it wherever you want. And instead of waiting for a module which takes long to develop, because you have to consider everyone. You can't just say, hey, this is my opinionated piece. So yeah, short excursion in that. And back to the Nitro endpoint. We have this create, and here, of course, we can now use the things from Nuxt Hub, right? Here we could say, okay, from the database, we could say, okay, we have that hub database, and we run things. So that would work. The Nuxt DevTools also have, I think, a nice overview of that. Yeah, wonderful, perfect. So I think that would be a good option to check out. Also very important, this whole thing only runs on Nitro, because in the client access and databases, that is a bit trickier then. Yeah, we have unhub ready as hook. That's also really cool. Wait until the bindings are ready, and then we can add these things. I'm still tempted to use Drizzle, mainly because it will save a bit of time and effort. We can just define the schema straight away. It will generate a database. We can write migrations, which is really lovely. And we might do that before diving too deep into the manual world. Because then we say like, hey, select them all. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's give it a go. Let's add Drizzle ORM to our dep and Drizzle kit as dev dependency in a second. And I'll drink a little bit. Okay. So we add these two. We can follow along. We set up the Drizzle config. That's not a problem. We have to define a database in a bit. And this will be a fun part. So maybe let's shut down a node server for now and just do that. And say touch drizzle config.js. Open this and save this here. Just checking. It should not be in server. It should be in a main root. That makes sense. Let's copy things over and see how that works by defining server database schema.ts. Hey, user Quinn. Yes. Oh, glad you joined. And thanks for the follow before. That's lovely. Okay, here have we the users. Let's add the members table here straight away. And that will be interesting because it's as simple as Drizzle hub database. Yeah, that's a good point. I briefly saw that here, right? That's really nice. But of course, let's define the schema first, which will be something that needs a bit more time. Okay. That's based on the members we defined before. So let's go maybe to the members form. Copy that schema. Maybe we can reuse that. Bobby and Joaquin. It's so nice to see you around here. And of course, all the other 19 people joining me here besides you two. Wolf as well. It's lovely. I really like to work in public nowadays. It's so much fun. But sadly don't have the means to do it more often due to traveling and conferences, preparing client work. Nevertheless, let's go through some things here. Okay, ID is fine. We have that. We have first name. Yeah, should we capitalize that? Should we do snake case? You know what? We'll do it. We'll do the classic way. Because in the end, these should be camel case. These should be snake. They were good. First name. Email should be unique, but it can be null actually. Does it even work if it can be null and unique? I don't think so, but we'll see. If it gives an error, it gives an error. First name. We go with last name. Gender. This should be, I think, an int at some point, like, or like a. There should be other options. We have integer. That should be fine then. As options. Also, they're not allowed to be null. Then we have to map that in a bit. Let's copy the rest over. Password is fine, avatar is fine, created would be nice, and updated ad would also be very nice. Because it doesn't hurt to see when things got updated last time. Email comes a bit. Okay, lots of Z's here, I know. Text member ship ID unique not null. Unique is also very important here, of course. This will come in later here. Birth date, phone, email comes up first. That should be date. Not null. Oh no, it should be. It doesn't have a date. Can I just use the timestamp then for an integer? I guess. Yeah, I suppose. Let's do that then. Or is there like, is it timestamp option? There's SQLi timestamp. It's not really the one that I want to use. We have integer and columns. Okay, blob. We don't need blob here. Numeric real. Okay. Let's roll off integers. Fine, we can just save the timestamp. Phone is just text. Okay, we don't need that. Not now. That's fine. Same here. And here. And yeah, then we have to transform it a little bit because then we can just skip that part here and say this is just text. Why did it put text string over here? That's of course not correct. We have to put these in here. Oh, that would be bad otherwise. Okay, let's see. This still need. And these are optional. Or should be optional. Text dot not now. A country list we can add later on. Membership ID is working already. Join date, leave date is the same idea. We only want the optional one. So integer, whatever we have here. Dot not now. Oh no, it should be now. It can be now, so we can have that. Notes is also string notes. Can be optional. It's not string, it's text. Also very important. We don't want to continue with VOD here. Then all the other things we have to mark as optional here and there, right? The CEPA data and all that. I can do mode timestamp. Oh, good point. Thanks. Then I will do that straight away for the birth date, join date, leave date. Wonderful. That looks better. Okay. I probably can't define nested keys, so I will guess let's just do CEPA here with like CEPA account holder, like just prefix them all. I just suppose that I can't. If someone knows I can, then please let me know. So this is IBAN, this is big, but we do CEPA, IBAN. So it's a bit prefixed to make sure it's clear. CEPA account holder. Also here we wanted to join underscore date, leave underscore date. And the optional should be dot not null. And then we're good. Actually, the IBAN should also be not null. This can also be optional because it's only used if this is actually a SEPA payment type. Okay, payment role. It's also should be integer and set. Same for schedule. Also, this may be foreign key to payment roles if we have that at some point. Let's see. And wait, why do we have the SEPA data again in there? Because we have the payment info already here. We just need payment type here. Should also be an integer. We should map email we took on top here. Or maybe even make that not unique, just because the people won't be able to log in or anything. And I also know cases, well, nah, you know what? We'll go the same way and do it unique. If people want to use the same email, they should just register a new one. Come on. Let's quickly check the schema because we have SEPA data here we don't need because we already have that in the payment. Yeah, okay. Cool. All right, and this is our schema. Let's do a few comments here and there. Just to make sure it's more obvious. Company should go here somewhere. This is personal. All right. This is set up. We're good to go. Can even add a few more spaces here and there. So let's just assume that's fine. Okay. We have that. We don't. You can set up the DB generate. That doesn't hurt. Let's go to the package. Association manager. DB generate. And we're good. And then for the migrations, in a Nitro plugin, we can of course say, hey, do all the migrations, but it's fine. Migrations based on the schema and save it. That's really cool. And on help ready do it in the def, don't do them. Or if not in def return, yeah, that's better. Let's take this. Let's generate the DB real quick. Easy. Good start. Okay. Then let's add a Nitro plugin. And the use Drizzle, we still need to set up. Right? Yeah, because otherwise that won't work. So let's set it up under utils as it said. Timestamp MS. Okay, thanks. I will take a look at it. I should also check the docs out actually, but hey. Then let's remove the migration under server database migration. We just don't have these. Easy. Okay, this is not users, this is members. It shouldn't be users, right? This is schema. Oh, we named it. Named users. Okay, timestamp. Let's change to timestamp MS. Why is created at then in mode timestamp? That's a bit weird. But okay. All right. We created it. It works. This should also be auto-imported by this when I actually save that properly. There are no errors. And the TS server is up again. Still no. This is sometimes weird. I'm not sure if it's because of WSL, but sometimes the types are simply not recognized nicely. Still not. Excuse me. Because server utils should be easily auto-imported. I mean, this is, oh well, I might just, okay. I should start the dev server. I should use the prepare command because otherwise it's not found in the .nuxt types nitro imports. Because here it is now after starting. And now it's also fine here. Okay. Classic. Let's close the rest. Let's enable the database. And say hub database true. Nuxt config is restarting. Wonderful. Force closed. That's okay. Okay. Database migration done. Nice. So a few more things we should do is, first of all, we now have the database schema. We should create something based on that, so there's no mismatch. We should also, in our user create here, say map input to DB schema, because it doesn't work one by one, but it's fine. We did reuse the Drizzle schema to validate input, but also would be nice to have that for ZOT too. So can we, of course we can do that. That's fine. We can insert things with the values. That's also wonderful. We can update, which is very important. So let's say drizzle to ZOT. I heard it's possible. Someone wrote it before. Let's see. Bot spam. Oh yeah, lots of. Once again. Fun. Goodbye. So there is a drizzle ZOT option apparently. Oh, even that's pretty cool to say generate ZOT from Drizzle ORMs, especially with insert, updating, overriding as well. Because that's pretty nifty. Plus refining. We should check that out for sure. And is that an official plugin? I wonder. Yeah, cool. That's great. Now let's do that, because then we can really use both. And we base it on the Drizzle schema. I'm just wondering if we can one by one do that. Oh, we also have enum here, but it's for Postgres. Yeah, we'll still check it out. Let's see. Let's go back to, maybe we have to do migrations again, but it's fine. Let's go back to the schema, because if we have, let's say here, do we have the option to say enum? That's an integer. Well, let's say it's a text. What if there would be a text and we could say enum? This works. Okay. Enum is for SQLite too. Perfect. Because, I mean, I'm comfortable mapping that here for these things. Just wondering if there's anything that's a bit annoying to do. just by saying like, I don't know, I want to change the name of it, I can just keep it with integers even, I think. Or Anurag, what do you think? Let's say we have the payment schedule and we set it before in the member form. We had like the payment schedule to be like yearly and monthly and whatnot. Do you think this, do you think these should be IDs or strings in the database? I mean, we can probably put them as IDs like 1, 2, 3, like 0, 1, 2, or we can put them as strings in there. I'm just wondering if it makes sense to put them as strings and someone's like, hey, I want to change the name on it or ITN and so on and so on. I just feel like it could be a bit annoying. I mean, probably can just do something like we can put a value behind it, set it to an ID. But then we can't really do that in our schema. We can't really say like here enum or something. We can limit it and anything, but of course we can set it as Boolean. But that's it. String would be better, I think. Okay. Let's try it. The payment roles, for this, still have to check. I'm not sure about these either. For the schedule, let's do string. Or it's text, but hey. And enum, we can basically take what we had before. Because for these, it's really straightforward. The hard code anyway. The payment type, also for now, it's hard coded. With cash, SEPA. So that's pretty okay. I think also for the gender, we can integer, birth date, should only date. We don't need the time here though. We can set a text, and then we say enum, and say male, female, other, no answer. I mean, we can also leave it empty if it's really no answer. Why not? Why don't even need an extra field? Why not make it very simple and prefer not to say it's the null option? We don't need to save data for that. We have to restructure not these but these to be like we can do this after we fix the schema we create. Okay. We have anywhere else integers where we don't want to have integers, that's fine. For the, I mean, join date and leave date should also be timestamp itself, no? Because Rorak said timestamp is only start date, that's okay. Timestamp S is not necessary for join and leave date. It's enough we select they joined on 1st of February. I think for create and update, that's more interesting for the timestamp with milliseconds. For this will be more interesting to use some kind of, well, foreign key, quote unquote. These are texts, that's fine. Okay. Then let's install, what was it, Drizzle, I think. Yeah, Drizzle, let's go. And once again, check it. Yeah, it looks pretty smooth. Because then we can use that schema to validate the incoming response. Because the biggest issue is that, of course, the info you get in the form doesn't have to match the way it will be created in, like the same way it will be shown in database. But that will be fine. Let's take these and move them back. And let's say we have the whole schema here, members, and then we can say instead of user, of course, we go for member. Let's try this. Members. We can import these, and we also want to override some fields, I think. But for now, it looks nice. We have to select, we have to export. RGB Vision, thanks for follow. We have that. Maybe, yeah, the only issue is now this, yeah, now this is actually on the server side. It would be really nice to have a way to expose that to the client side too. Which I probably can't without moving also the Drizzle definition to the client side. That's a bit meh, but it's okay. You know, we'll do the following. In here, we'll say, okay, we have create. Maybe let's do create.post in this case. We don't even create. We can just say index.post. We do just very simple CRUD. And now we want to parse the schema. We technically also know what we want because we have that insert member schema. So we can say event.parse. Oh, there was no wait, parse event. What was it? Let's check. H3. There was a, oh, was it Nitro? Parse. Nope. There was read body. Yes, validate params. Get validated. Something validated. Yeah. Get read validated body. How about that? And the function would be insert member schema.parse. So const body is await this. That would be the idea here. So we can say, all right, we have we're not manually import the utils folder. Yeah, it's a bit tricky if we can, but there is what I would prefer to is technically say, okay, we have a utils folder here, and let's say schemas.ts or something, and now we would say export something from server utils drizzle. But it's not server utils drizzle, it's server database schema. And maybe here we can say insert member schema. We don't need select member schema, we just need insert member schema, I think. But we export them both anyway. And then that's fine. We'll try. We also still need to have a way for around this, it's okay. Same here. Okay, let's see how much breaks if this is the schema. A few things. Because this would be no answer. It would be fine, I guess. Oh, just null, true. It's or like undefined. We said it's okay. Birth date should be undefined. Okay, that's also a flaw. That looks pretty good actually. So birth date should be not null if possible. It is not null if possible. Strange. This should be different. Payment roll. Yeah. No, payment roll just do 0. That's fine for now. And then, yeah, we have to change the structure here a little bit, which is, it's not ideal. We can do it. Probably also figure a nicer way. This can be null. And this, no, this can't be null, this can be undefined. State and country should be able to be undefined. We'll see in a sec. Then remove the address everywhere. No. And probably same down here. Yeah. And now I think we lose a bit of the benefit of the ZOT scheme I had before of the discriminated union. Because now it's less expressive. But maybe we can override that. Because the problem is here, we had with this schema over here, we had a nice way of saying, look, this is a discriminated union. We either have CPA or cache as options. We can still override that, I know. We can still say, okay, let's take this over. But it wouldn't be exactly correct. Because it wouldn't be the right representation anymore. So, while we can say we override, that's just say like, okay, be any kind of string. We could refine it. But even that's not ideal. Let's look into that another time. We can use JSON if you want nested objects. Yeah, but I don't necessarily want to push whole JSON in the database. I think let's stick with what we had here for now and take a look at this in a bit. This should still be here. I mean, we have to sync it up anyway, right? But let's do a to-do in here and say somehow sync with form schema. Okay. We have to update this anyway. We have to update a few things actually. We have this. This must be optional. So this is null by default. Oh, still not null. It's still undefined. Why I'm so into null today. Company 2. Yes, we can't really auto-generate it unless people give us a way of doing that. So maybe to do for the future. There are ways to say, hey, this is the format, but not now. And that's okay. Because I mean, the best way I think would be if we handle in the create or like in any kind of part here, say, okay, in the end, we don't parse it through the insert member schema, but we parse it through, let's try this. Parse it through the forms schema, the member forms schema, transform it into the DB representation, representation. Then use the representation to insert a new member before validate result. I think this is the easiest way, because then we still have a bit of a safety net here to make sure, okay, if the way we need it is still guaranteed here, so it will be inserted the right way. We also need the other way around, I think, because then we get something out of the DB when we have like index.get, and we have to represent it the way the form/the page wants it. And DB and API are different. That might be an okay way to go. But nevertheless, we somehow have to sum it up. The thing is, we need const gender options, which is not the same, because also this needs to be male and male. Other, and then we need what does you select tag as options? Let's check the docs. This, of course, yeah, but we need name and value. Perfect. Then let's take this. Let's say name, male, value, male, all that. We do name, prefer not to say, value undefined, which is also, this should be the first because of that Safari thingy. And then we do the same with email. Maybe GitHub Copilot might help me here. No, not interested. Okay. And last but not least, other. Oh, there I can do it. Nice. Okay, let's put it in here. I think here best would be to keep separate Zod and DB. TS will complain if there was exactly, yeah, and move the Zod in the server so it can be used in both client and server side. Yes. I think so too. I think I will move the Zod actually in the utils or in the schemas folder here as well. And then re-export it on server utils too. Yeah, I had the same thought actually. So let's do that. But first let's get these up and ready, because why not? We have all that. The payment role is also an enum here, and I think in the schema it is, well, we don't know about that yet, it's true, but the schedule, that should be fine because that's the same. Good. Then everything should be synced up. So let's move it over. Let's see what all we need. We need this. We don't need that, of course. Payment types, do we use them? I don't think so, only for here. This is read from database, so this is to do, that's fine. These we need constants somewhere else. The problem is, it would be really nice to extract the IDs, but that's I don't think that will go through, because even if you do as const, which won't work because it's a map, and then it will complain because it can't be figured out here. But we can do it very easily. It has to be changed in 2 places then, but that's how it's going. Maybe we can define type of payment schedule options number ID. And then we have this. We also need the gender options, same idea. We maybe even can put it closer to each other. So we have this, we have that. And same idea here, we can do type of. And also we need this const. And then we need, oh god, exclude, I think. Undefined. Yeah, here we go. Okay. General should work, we'll see in a second. Payment schedule these as well. Because they should be auto imported, and yes, it is. That shouldn't be general options, it's general values, and that also should work. That's a const. That's a const. Let's see in a second. In the meantime, payment roles we have to do, that's fine. No, it still won't take it, because it's an import from another file, I suppose. Okay. That's the only downside. It all has to be pretty close to the schema. And even here now it says it's not assignable. Oh, because it has to be read only. I think that's the issue. Read only male, female, other. It's not assignable to parameter of type string or. I mean, this as const, it should also be read only. Also, that would make sense. I'm a bit stumped here. We type that. It satisfies? I don't think so. Because this works fine. Okay, we'll take that. Then we use satisfies here. Because then we don't type it, we just say the type should satisfy. this. Do we need to read only here? No, I don't need to read only even. And now can we actually please move that to the other file again? I would be very happy about that. This looks phenomenal. Okay. So after a bit of type juggling and a bit of moving things in here, we can use all of that. Now export const member form schema. I'll probably give it a different name. At that point, but this will work. And then server utils. We will schema.ts. We will also say export member schema from member form schema. Oops. Okay. Here we are. Now all we need to do is we go into our create endpoint. And here we would really say, okay, console.log, just being curious. We can even just do the root. This we can do. Member form schema should be available because it's available in server utils. We export it from here again. Okay, here it says gender value is not defined. I have the feeling we have to move it back, but then we move it back. It's fine. That's okay. Or didn't we export it? Should be in utils constants. Gender options. Gender values is exported. Even schedule options, we don't even need to export. The IDs we need to export. It's just interesting that we need to import that because it should be auto-imported, but hey. It still says util schemas. Yeah. Yeah, true. The problem is as soon as you want to share these schemas from left to right, or like on the server and on the client, you have the problem, and I'm not the first one hitting this, you have the problem that these auto imports won't resolve properly because now we import it somewhere and it won't look in that folder on the server side because it's only meant to be on the client side. So we have to actually import gender values and payment schedule IDs manually in this case. And then it should work. And it does. It's a bit of a pain, but it's necessary to have a bit of a better separation. Well, I think there could be something better to do. Let's see. Okay. Things are fine. I'm still curious if I need that, but we'll see. And now let's just post it and say do it. So all we need now is we need to go here. Well, before we go there, let's actually set up a call and create. This is the validated data. $fetch. We're doing a wait here. / API users. Method post. Body. Validated data. Okay. Why is this not so? Okay, we have to check that real quick before we fill that further. Options here are set there. And these are name and value, as they should be. No, male, female, other, and there's undefined saying it's not available. Name value. Exactly. When using objects, you can configure which field will be used to display for the option attribute. Okay, not even easier. Defaults to label. What's label? Good point. By default is label. Should have read the docs. This is an example of how you do it with a different field, but yeah. Looks better. Okay. Test. The default though. This is required is correct. Gender options say all that. The schema should allow it to be optional. And it is optional. Invalid enum value. Expected male, female, other received prefer not to say. This is very unfortunate. So apparently, that might be something to write. Apparently, if you don't pass in, if you pass an undefined here, which we'll do, it will consider there is no value, which means that prefer not to say will be used as label and value. So more or less this here is the same as just doing just this. Let's quickly check if we can raise an issue or something. Maybe there is one already. Select, use select, undefined. Okay, let's quickly raise one. Because that would be very useful. Okay, problem is when creating options for the useSelect component and providing a value purposefully, come on, can't type today, as undefined, the custom value will not be considered and the label value will be used. Okay. This shouldn't be too complicated to set up. Let's quickly do that because I can sign in here with GitHub. Yes. Let's zoom out a little bit. And yeah, we can just copy what we did here. Like we can say const options. Let me just log out what actually will be shown. So let's move this here. This value should be undefined. But is this message instead? Maybe it's wrong, maybe I'm not correct. And I just messed up something in the schema, but I think this is it. Const state is reactive select. I can just take it as undefined for now. And in a template, just put uSelect vModel state.select. Options is options. I don't think we need more than that. Undefined props are unset now. How do you mean that? Ah, but it's right. Yeah, exactly. It's not just like plain undefined. Then yes, that would be different. And state. And a pre maybe. Yep. There we go. Reproduction successful. Save and go for it. This is, well, which version is it? It was, well, thanks. 2.15.2. Stack blitz. And here we go. Undefined value for uSelect. Option is not honored. Label is used instead. I think that shouldn't be too tricky fix. What can take a stab at it another time. Okay, this is Nuxt UI issues. This, I really like to always copy the URLs everywhere to make sure I know what it actually still is about. Nuxt UI, when I take a look at next time, there we go. Reproduction. First, select the first option. Second, see that select is not undefined. Oop, here we go. All right. That should be enough. And it's actually not nice because then we have to go back to what we did before. We have to go prefer to say no answer. It's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just a bit annoying that the idea we had of saving less data would be rewarded, but hey, that's how it's going. Also, we should use these, not the other one. Because now, yeah, now this is missing. Perfect. Let's jump into the member form. Remove these gender options because they should be exposed already. Or did I? Yeah, I stopped exporting them. Here we go. These are also exported already, I think. Export const, yes, they can go too. And I think payment schedule options are also in constants right now. Yeah, nice. So most of them are good for now. Okay. Oh, this is needed for payment types. Okay. That's fine. Let's slowly. We need to do the request. We should figure it out. Let's update the schema. We're inserting again here, or the general schema. Because this is not, where's the general here? No answer. Could we use the gender options here, values here? We could, right? Yeah. That would be a bit better. Same here, saying payment schedule IDs or payment schedule values or whatever. It seems a bit cleaner. Okay. Let's do DB generate. What's wrong? Oh, config provider over here. There is a config. No, it's not dev. Let's generate again. Module not found. Probably. Use constants is not found, yeah. Because the aliases might not be known. Still not found. What? Let's try like this. Interesting. With alias? I usually prefer to keep the fun. I usually prefer to keep the JS or TS path. Mainly the JS because of resolutions can be sometimes a bit annoying, but hey. Okay. We generated it. Ah, yeah. So we can just throw that away and just create it again and run it. Because changing column types not supported so far. That's fine. Table members already exist. Okay, we can just delete the table. Let's try through the DevTools in a second. Because the DevTools have also an integration, at least it was meant to be one. Let's quickly check the docs of Nuxt.js. Didn't say something about DevTools. Database. Here, Nuxt DevTools. Yes. Hub database. There. Do you need to enable anything for that? I hope not. Otherwise I have to go to Cloudflare and change it manually. But I don't see the icon here. And it would be, that's icones, hooks, virtual files? No. Did I I didn't enable either. Interesting. Maybe that's a to be released feature. Okay. Fine. Then I will release that. I will move it manually later on. We'll just create it under underscore members and it's fine. Or members one. Very classic. Do another generate. Another def. It's okay. Database migration done. Okay, let's fill things out. No answer. Wonderful. That's almost what I want. I mean, still, options here should reflect because it's name and label. Come on. Ooh. What happened now? Oh, never mind. Everything just closed. That's fine. Let's try it again. And I now have to select prefer to say. Is the default because it's still optional, and gender is probably still, yeah. This should be went to no answer by default. Here we go. Yes, okay. Skip for most of these, I can just enter whatever. Country seems to be not optional here, it's okay. All right. That worked. Nice. So far so good. We can get these requests in here. Now the most important part is we want to process them. I think that will be one of the last things to do. Then we'll do a little summary, and then I think it's already time to continue another time. Let's check again the posts.ts here, because we got it. That's wonderful. It works. We returned it. Lovely. Now we have to say transform it into the DB representation. That's correct. And then insert it. But we don't even need to do transform straight away. We can just say use Drizzle dot members. Or do we have members directly? We had it here, right? No, stop. Here. We have these, but we can just say members. Okay. Members dot. I'm gonna do whatever. Oh wait, and utils drizzles here. Use drizzle and then if you type, okay. Let's try it again. Use drizzle dot insert. Then we do members and body, and this will definitely not match as we need. How do we need to structure the insert for this? Oh, okay, of course. Insert members dot values, and here the values come. Okay. And this is a pretty straightforward option, I think. So let's do this real quick. Most of it is the same anyway. The only thing that's different are the actual CPA data. Okay, so let's go through all these. Okay, ID we don't need, obviously. First name. Most of that we can probably just like this. Const first name, last name, company, if it exists, of course. Gender, birth date, phone, email street, and so on, so on. Yeah, this is not that easy then. Because this is not existing here. But we can do address and do that. We can address most of it. It's pretty cool. And then we can just put it mostly in here and created that and here, updated that as new date age. All right. So we have the address, we have a few more things. We need this same payment. With the payment, it's a bit more interesting. So I'll say payment here. We have the address, we have the rest. And then we do const. Actually, it is the same. Const payment type. We can do it the same way. We can do type, payment type. And we can data, same idea. Yeah, because these are only the two things and cache doesn't have that. But they might not. That's always an object. No, it should be fine. Now. Let's try a few things. Doesn't look that bad at all. Let's enable column mode. Select most of that. We still need this. Yeah. It might not exist, that's true. That's a bit annoying then. Let's do payment data and do it differently. So let's get that. We can't because we have to const per account holder is account holder. Yeah, and then we'll just do that as undefined. Super big and country. And we're almost there to insert the user. After doing everything correct and not super crazy fast, but it's better to build that way, I think. So insert that and then do returning get and get it again. We have to wait it. That makes sense. Insert expects the insert should expect tables that to do. Okay, tables is the schema. Interestingly. Interesting, it says it can't do that. Even though it should be able to. Tables is schema, we can also do that, but same same issue around it. Okay, we'll see. Data should be all there though. And I mean, this should all exist after passing through it, so that's really nice. And then we can just say const results or const inserted entry. There's await use drizzle insert and so on and so on. We'll check how we did that. Not returning get. And then we return the entry or the result. What did I name it? Insert entry. Wow. Okay. I'm still not sure why it's an overload call, because we are literally just saying that's the values here. Or do we have to provide values? No, it doesn't make sense. Insert this values that. I mean, what if we just insert created at and updated it? Just out of curiousness. It would say, you know what? That doesn't match. It's not assignable to all of this. So even if you just say members here, put all of that in, it would say no. Let's double check the schema. Because we have first name, we don't have an ID, and that's okay. We can also just let it run. I mean, we can, what should happen? Except that it's crashing. So if we do submit call here, it will give us a 500. Okay, so it is crashing. Not null constraint, failed, members one birth date. We didn't set birth date to be null. It says not null. And birth date, do we have it here? We have it here. It's also inserted. And birth date is integer, not null. That should be fine. So why exactly did it complain saying not null constraint failed members one birth date? Oh wait, it's true. It's absolutely true. We said it's not null, and it might be null, but it should not be. Okay, let's go through the schema again. One sec. Okay, that should exist. This should exist. The birth date doesn't have to exist. That's fine. The email should be unique. That's okay. I think it's exactly the other way around. I was just stupid when creating it. The address should not be null. Membership ID should be null. This is okay. This is okay. This can all possibly not exist, so we can all remove these constraints here. The payment role should exist. This should exist. This should exist. Let's try it again after migrating. Did you consider using Keisli over Drizzle RAM? I did not so far. Actually, I jumped on Drizzle a little bit on today because it has a wonderful Nuxt hub integration straight here. I mean, I could try other ORMs. I could try, I could go back to Prisma. I could use no ORM. I could even just save them in files if I want to. But the main important part was to get somewhere today. But why? What were the benefits? I have not used Keisli at all. Light abstraction layer over SQL. Oh, okay. I see. Interesting. No, but I think that could also, DB0 could also do that already. So I think DB0 could do quite some of that, which also comes built into, like not built into, but straight away with Nitro. So that might be worth checking out. But I didn't want to go all raw actually, because I like the schema generation to reuse them as well then here and there. So let's continue with this. I just have to fill things in. Don't even need this, it's fine. All right, let's go. All right, next response. It's still not null. Didn't the migration change it? SQLite support SQLite doesn't support a drop null. Okay. Okay, it has to do manually. I had a feeling. Members 2, here we come. As it's just experimenting, I will delete him and call for later. Just don't want to waste time now to do that. So let's retry it. It's a variable, not ORM. Yeah. But DB0 is also not a full ORM in this case. Nevertheless, let's jump into that. Members 2, here we come. Yeah. Okay, one more time to go through a few things. Don't even have to provide it, but that's okay. And submit. Hey, we did it. It's there. Wonderful. Things work. If we would now, okay, you know what? Let's do it real quick. Let's just create a very simple index.get. id.get.ts. And let's say, what's the ID that we returned? It returned here. We don't have that anymore, huh? Okay. Did we log it here somewhere? It's probably just one. So let's see. Because all we would need to do here is, let's say, okay, we have that nitro event handler. Const ID is no. Get router, get route, not router, get router param ID, and from event. And let's say this. Tables.members or tables.members.id is that. I hope that's more or less correct. Let's double check that. Oh, select from, okay. Equals number ID. It should be number, no? Is there equals? Yeah, where? Ah, equals has to wrapped around it, okay. Like this. Wonderful. Okay. Let's just try this. Oh yeah, I had it. Creating new table over there. That's the intended way to do it. Yeah, yeah. That's the downside of SQLite, but if it's just that. Okay, we'll go API. How is it called? Is it the users? I should be members. I'll change it afterwards. 1. Yay. It worked. It's there. Awesome. Okay. Let's quickly change the API route just so I don't forget about it. Because otherwise I'm more than sure I will. Let's also make it members because it's about members, not about logged in user. Let's change lots of things. I'm still wondering why this is overload call, but we'll come to that later. Hey, thanks a lot for the follow. Let's go to users because this will go to API members. And then, well, we can even do the good stuff and say id.view here. We'll just say await useFetch /API members ID. Yeah. Something like that. If you make a template string out of it, and if we would also do / and then have const user, and we have wonderful type safety, as you already know. Or maybe not if you haven't used Nuxt before. Time to launch a new product. Yeah, it's ready. Exactly. No, it's not too far away. I mean, the biggest step, first of all, was getting the data in. That's a nice thing. We have data structure now. Things work now. We still have to get the payment roles in. That's one more thing. We have to... payment types will stay as is. I don't bother with them. And then we have to create invoices and things, but it's fine. So if we say members 1, you'll still need the list and everything. I know. That's there. Okay, let's commit what we have right now. Feed all from first stream. Yeah, I think it's fine. I'm still really not sure about that, but it's okay. Because it is a string for sure, but hey, we're good. This all makes sense. And this is indeed all from the first stream. I will publish this in Association Manager, I think. Oh no, it's a private room. Or if it's private, I'll just make it public now and update the README with also links to the stream, I guess, as soon as the stream is out. Let's quickly do this. Yeah, still private, and it's public after I put on my authentication code. There we go. Okay, quickly updating the README straight away in GitHub. Next tree Association Manager app. Okay, what is this warning? It was like this. This is heavily work in progress. Was it like that? I always forget how the notation was. One warning. Come on, GitHub warning markdown. Thanks. There are should work already. Like this? Really? Warning? No. Okay. Anyway, I will just make it bold. Okay, that's fine. This is heavily work in progress. And built in public during streams / videos. Okay, good enough. Easy, update README. No MVC syntax, yeah, nope. But I know this is possible. Okay, you know what? We'll check and Anthony's GitHub, and then because I know he has it somewhere as well. Oh, but Daniel as well. Oh, let's go to Daniel's website and check out. I could just go straight away to the GitHub profile, but it's fine. Not even listed here. Come on, why not? Road dev, and here, no, also not. Okay, never mind. We'll leave it at that. That's okay. I think we accomplished a few things today. We got it up and running. We started using Nuxt.js a little bit. It's nice to not bother about setting up database and stuff. I think mostly was fiddling around with the schemas and with the clunky part of the data. I'm very curious how it will turn out because I hope I have a few hours tomorrow to continue streaming. The video will be up very soon, also on the YouTube channel. And as usual, if you need, if you're interested in Nuxt UI, if you want to get it, there's 20% discount until the end of the month, just as a heads up. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the stream. Thanks. It is warning. Okay. I love it. I'm very happy that someone wrote me that because I always forget it. It's not highlighted though. Or is it with like this before? No. Even not like that. Wait. Warning and then wait, like this. Ha, lovely. Yes, perfect. Tuftinger, or yeah, Tuftinger, thanks a lot for the info. Straight away, one more commit, doesn't hurt. Okay, now we can all enjoy the rest of the Sunday evening, I suppose. So yeah, thanks a lot to everybody for joining. Thanks for all the tips, the hints, the valuable insights of you. And let me know if there's anything that you might say like, hey, that's weird. And if you want, of course, feel free to send in the PR. I will review them live on stream if that's of interest. There are lots of more things to come, and I hope to finish that until the next couple days, but we'll see. Until then, have a wonderful day / evening, and see you soon, everybody.